Hi guys, my name is Sinead Teresa. I'm making this video to tell my story about how I went from New Age practices to going back to Christianity. I've had a really long, strange trip, and so it's something that I'm really proud of. Although it has not been easy by any means. Just adjust that a little bit. So, a little bit of a backstory. I got pregnant with my second daughter about 5.5 years ago. And before that, I was pretty much a lost soul. I was a really, really heavy drinker, smoked cigarettes. I was really hard partier. And when I got pregnant with her, I was bound and determined to change my life. After I had her, I got really sick. I was hospitalized for a month and I had gone septic, and I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. And once that was done, I knew that I was never, ever going to go back to my old lifestyle. I really just wanted to make sure that I was living a healthy lifestyle for my kids. So I started reading lots of self-help books, practicing yoga and meditation every single day. Every self-help book that I had talked about the importance of meditation. I have never been a spiritual person by any means. Spirituality didn't exist in my world at all. I grew up Catholic, and they're very traditional the way that their practices are, and it never spoke to me as a child. I came from a divorced Catholic family, and it wasn't always very easy, so it never called to me by any means. And I just went through the motions, got confirmed in 8th grade, and never went back. And so once I had my second daughter, I really just wanted to stop having panic attacks, stop feeling empty all of the time. I had this overwhelming urge to fulfill this void that I had in my life. And I found it in yoga. Yoga was my first love, and even though I have some conflict of interest with the practice now, yoga is what brought me back to God, and I'll be forever thankful for that. I wanted to be a yoga teacher so bad, and I really just gave myself to every bit of that. And this lasted for 2 years. I practiced yoga every day, started doing meditation. I had multiple books on meditation and old like Eastern practices, and everything seemed to be getting better, but at home the relationship I had with my kid's dad wasn't going well. I had really changed who I was as a person completely, and all of my habits, and we hadn't really done that together. It was something that I just did on my own, and we had drifted apart because of that. And in the middle of that, when you start meditating all the time, weird things start happening. And I didn't expect that. I was really just trying to combat my panic attacks and get rid of my anxiety and heal from my old traumas and addiction issues and all of that stuff. And you don't realize that you're literally inviting like a mystical realm into your life. You're inviting God into your life. And that wasn't something that I had considered so much when I started meditating. I just wanted to heal and wanted to combat my inner demons. And so after meditating every day, I started doing, 5-minute YouTube videos in the beginning. And I got to the point where I could just sit and meditate for, 20, 30 minutes a day, and then practice yoga 30 minutes a day. And I was feeling better, but I still had this emptiness and this urge to fix everything going on in my life. And because of the problems I was having with my relationship, I was, healing from the surgery, and during COVID, this was during COVID, of course, with, homeschooling my older daughter, taking care of my younger daughter, and really just struggling as a mom. I was still, using cannabis every single day, all day long. And I was still seeking to fill these voids, even though I was doing everything that the books told me to do. I was working out every day. I was meditating every day. I was eating the right foods. I became a vegetarian, all of these things I was doing, and it still wasn't helping. So about 2 years in, when I really noticed that, we were having issues in our relationship, is when it kind of shifted from me just trying to better myself and heal my traumas to divination. I started seeing, angel number sequences everywhere I went, and all sorts of strange things started happening, and I felt like the universe was trying to talk to me, and I didn't understand what it was saying. So in hindsight, instead of, picking up a Bible, it would have been much easier, and figuring out what was going on with me, I picked up tarot decks. That's pretty common practice for people who do yoga every day, and a lot of yoga teachers use tarot decks during their sessions and that sort of thing. So for the next 2 years, I used tarot decks every single day. I had quite the collection of them. I had oracle cards, and basic tarot decks, and I was completely fascinated with the fact that every time I laid a hand, whatever it was that the card said would be what ended up happening that day. I also got into numerology, and other occult practices that basically it's fortune telling, I became obsessed with it. And when the Bible talks about how Satan can come into your life without you even realizing it, that's really what happened with me. Things got really dark and really, really heavy when I realized that my relationship with my kid's dad wasn't going in the direction that I wanted, and I sought these decks out instead of, going to a church or going to counseling or, whatever. And this heaviness came over me, and it's unlike anything that I've ever experienced. I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, a lot of really hard, deep stuff, and nothing compared to the feeling that I had hovering over my head. I had gone to consult a psychic about, what was going on, all of these, strange things. And every time I went and saw this woman, she just wanted more of my money. And then she introduced me to the practice of Reiki, which is basically like an energy cleansing. I had never heard of it prior to going to see this psychic. And she told me, she could clear all of the energy, all of this dark energy from me. And instead, what ended up happening was she took me for a whole lot of money. She didn't show up to her sessions at one point. I think it was like supposed to be our third session. She was literally doing like a rain stick over the phone with me. And I knew at that point that I had just gotten taken for my money. I was pretty hopeless, and I just decided that it would be best for me to leave the relationship. And if I could describe to you the feeling that I felt going through this process, it's like a black cloud that came over the top of my head, this energy of black cloud that just would not go away. I moved out into a 2-bedroom apartment with my kids, and my apartment is a really, really old building. And once I moved in here, things got a whole lot worse. I started, their energy entities, whatever it is that you want to call them, would enter the room, and the whole room would get ice cold, and you feel this sense of dread, this sense of helplessness and death. And toys started going off in the middle of the night, all night, every night. I was getting woken up every single night at 2 a.m., at 2:22, 3:33 a.m. I was having dreams that someone was trying to kill my kids. Overwhelming fear that someone was going to hurt me or hurt my children, to the point where it was crippling, and at the same time all of this stuff is happening, I started seeing crosses everywhere I went. These, the 3 crosses that you see in front of churches a lot. And noticing shirts with Jesus on them and bumper stickers. Every car that jumped in front of me said something about Jesus. And it felt like God was telling me, like, I really needed to go to Jesus and go to church. And to say that I went like kicking and screaming would be an understatement. I never in a million years thought I would go back to Christianity or Catholicism. I thought it was outdated, and I thought these new spiritual practices were what I needed to heal myself. And what I realized in the process is a lot of these practices just make you crave more and more. You need more yoga. You need more. Now you've had the yoga practice, now you need the Reiki treatment. You've had the Reiki treatment, now you need the tarot spread. And all of these things, of course, cost money. And I still have issues when it comes to yoga, because yoga was my first love, and I love yoga so much. But nowadays I tend to just practice at home and couple it with the Our Father and a few Hail Marys, but anyway, I was struggling. I was not sleeping at night. I had nights where I could feel this entity energy touching me. And everywhere I went, I sometimes feel like this dark energy is just hovering over me, and it induces the worst possible fear that you could ever imagine. I've never been suicidal in my life, even through all of the trials and tribulations that I had, and that was like a really prevalent thing that was happening. Fears that family members of mine and of my kids were gonna commit suicide, that someone was gonna kill us, and so dark and scary and so incredibly real. And so anyway, I'm a reader, and I don't even know how I came across it, but at some point this book got brought to my attention, and it totally changed my life. Doreen Virtue, Deceived No More. She was a New Age teacher. She, did seminars and made tarot decks or angel cards, as she used to call them. And it says how Jesus led me out of the New Age and into his world. And reading that book was the first time I ever heard the term spiritual warfare. And I realized that was definitely what was going on in my life. The enemy has a very smooth way of sneaking in and essentially destroying your life. It's been really tough being a single mom again, and not something that I ever anticipated, but I've made the choices that I've made, and there isn't going back from that. But this book taught me so much. She had the same thing. She had this overwhelming fear of, someone was going to kill her, and, waking up all nights. And that is spiritual warfare. That's the devil's still trying to keep its hold on you from, to scare you, to stop you from going to Christ. And so I started church shopping. I went to one church that I didn't really like, and then I found a more modern church that I liked, and I did that for a while. Recently I've found myself going back to the Catholic Church, which has been beautiful and amazing, and it's Lent right now, and I'm praying the rosary every day, and finding hope through Christ that eventually all of this really dark stuff will end. And talking with the priest, and trying to really grow closer to God. When I started this process, it was all just trying to heal myself, and I still found myself trying to constantly fill voids. I've been sober I haven't had a touch of alcohol in 3.5 years. I haven't used cannabis in 1.5 years. I exercise every, my light just went out. That's cool. So anyway, I am really thankful that I have found God and the Bible, and I just wanted to share this book with you, and also this, which Doreen talks about in her book, Deceived No More. I started reading the Bible, and I will tell you that there is no book on my bookshelf of New Age practices that offer the wisdom, the help that this will give you, there's two different versions. There's this one. There's also ones that go in like chronological order from the time they happened to you know, the end of the Bible writings and the scriptures. And so anyway, this is all still really new to me. She uses the term baby Christian. I'm a baby Christian. I'm learning to give my life over to God. I'm learning to put Jesus Christ first in everything that I do. I'm learning to pray with my kids. I'm in the process of getting them, you know, they go to church with me every Sunday, and I'm learning how to become a warrior for Christ instead of a warrior for me, a warrior for him in honor of him. And so also one other book that Doreen talks about in her Deceive No More is this, and this was The Light That Was Dark, From New Age to Amazing Grace by Warren Smith. And it is a really great book, another great read of talking about, you know, coming under spiritual attack after, you know, doing all of these new age practices. In between my going to the first psychic and finding these books and going back to church, I saw two other Reiki practitioners. You know, one of them flat refused to work on me. She said that I had a really heavy energy on me that I needed to get rid of before she was willing to work on me. Another one told me that I was absolutely surrounded by demons. And she told me that the second one that said that I was surrounded by demons told me that it's okay, it's fine, because you are more powerful than the demons and you are stronger than they are. And so I tried dealing with this on my own for a long time. And when I went back into confession, talked to a priest and told him, and I got rid of all my tarot cards, and got rid of, you know, any idol statues that I had in my house of other gods, and, you know, really trying to shift my life from what it was to Jesus Christ. And the priest, I went into confession, and he said to me, I told him all of the things that were going on and this darkness, this heaviness that I was carrying with me. And he said, you know, you can't get rid of that. God gets rid of that. You can't take on, you know, a pack of demons by yourself. Like, you need the Holy Spirit. Like, you need God. You need Jesus Christ. And that is, that's what I've done. That's what I'm doing. I'm really giving my life over to God. And I'm just so thankful that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Last night, actually, at work, I was having a really hard day. Hold on 1 second. Scoot it. And my coworker, I love my coworkers, went into the restroom, and she came out and she said, I found this in the bathroom. And it's a little piece of paper note. And she said, I feel like this is for you today. And it says, I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. And then to the right it says, for more, check out Romans 10:9. And that is Psalm 16:8. And it really struck me, you know, no matter what we're going through, God is always here with us and always trying to help us find our way back. And every time I start to feel that hopelessness, that sense of dread, you know, that's what I'm reminded of, is that he's just trying to bring me back to him. And I'm so thankful every day for Jesus Christ and for finding my way back home. And so anyway, this page, I don't know how many videos I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna do a lot. I don't know how to edit things, and I've never posted a video of myself before, so I just want anyone out there who is struggling between the two, between New Age practices and Christianity, to really just give Jesus a shot. Pick up a Bible, you know, it could really save your life. And know that everything always gets better through Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's Philippians 4:13. I have it on my wall up there. And thank you. And I hope this helps someone. Pick up these books. This one, Deceive No More, The Light That Was Dark, and the 1 Year Bible. All right, thanks.